is the most unlucky man I have ever met. He left his scanner to a homeless singer on the side of the road and paid him for looking after it, and the next thing you know, the guy's gone with the scanner. His car was towed away because he had too many tickets. The rent hadn't been paid for months. His investment in the scanner was also lost. His life was in ruins, so to speak, but he still refused to give up. Every day he was in front of the building. Finally, one day, he found an opportunity. He met an executive at the door. He managed to get a taxi with him. The supervisor was so absorbed in playing with the Rubik's Cube and said that this thing, it was impossible to restore. At this point he offered to try it himself. The supervisor didn't believe he could do it either, but just as he arrived, the man was able to restore it. The supervisor was impressed, but the supervisor just got out of the car. He didn't even pay the fare. The man was too embarrassed to ask him to stop, so he asked the driver to turn back. He looked at the meter and looked at his wallet. Then, clutching his briefcase, at the junction he opens the door and runs off, but he forgets the scanner. He turns back to get the scanner again. He runs to the tube station. The driver follows him down. He finally got on the tube at the end, but he left his hand in the scanner outside. In the end he had to throw the scanner away. It was a month's worth of living expenses for his family. He called his wife. She couldn't stand the life. She decided to take the children and leave. He rushed home, but the house was empty. That's when the securities firm he had interviewed with called. He was told to go back for an interview the morning after. The next day he found his wife and had a big fight with her. Then he took his son away again. In the evening at dinner time, the landlord came to call for rent. He told him to move out in the morning. In the end, he was given a week's grace, and he asked him to repaint the walls. He was working as a painter, but the traffic police came to his door. Because of his long outstanding tickets, he was asked to go to the police station for one night. He had to call his wife, asking her to look after his son for one night. The next morning he didn't even change his clothes. He rushed to the interview, surrounded by suited and booted. All around him were people in suits. He was the only one in a mess of paint, but he was still able to speak with great eloquence and a sincere attitude. He won the interviewer over. If you ask a question I don't know the answer to, I'll tell you straight away that I don't know, but I can assure you, I know how to find the answer, and I will find it. And so he was accepted, but there was a big problem waiting for him. A 6-month internship without a salary. How was he going to get through those 6 months?